Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the MLB slate for Wednesday. It's starting at 1 o'clock, so starting in like 4 hours by the time this video will be out. I want to go ahead and touch on the picks pretty quickly. So as always, really appreciate you guys to the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Probably get back to making the big bets and stacks video maybe tomorrow or next week. It's been a busy week with it being Masters week and just with a lot of things going on. But let's go ahead and get into it. So looking at the look at the lineups like we always do, we have a few teams that look pretty appealing today. I think my favorite team might be the Blue Jays today against Kyle Gibson. Gibson couldn't even make it out the first inning his last time out, and the decline has been written on the wall for him. He just hasn't been able to kind of get lefties out. There's not a lot of lefties in this lineup, but he's been struggling to righties. He gives up power to righties as well. And this Blue Jays lineup is just super powerful top to bottom. You have power at the bottom with Tellez, Grichuk, power at the top with Biggio, Bichette, Hernandez. It's just a powerful lineup. I think they'll be able to put up a lot of runs all season. And then the second team, I think the Phillies could be interesting. They are facing off against a lefty and Peterson, and the Phillies have a lot of good righty hitters, and Harper is probably one of their better hitters. He's a lefty, but Hoskins hits lefties well. Mccutchen batting leadoff, only $3,200. He looks really nice. Alec Boehm is only $3,100. Segura is cheap. Real Muto if you wanted to pay up for your catcher. And then I like the White Sox going up against Justin Dunn. Wind blowing out here. I mean, their lineup has taken a little bit of a hit if there is still not going to be Tim Anderson at the top of the order, but you still can look to guys like Adam Eaton at only 4K batting leadoff. Robert is very expensive. Robert is very expensive, $5,900. I think I like some other guys in the outfield spot, but you can look to Abreu, Moncada, and Mercedes just continues to hit every single day. So probably those are my main teams to look at. This wind is blowing out in Wrigley. I don't really want to target a lot of guys against Brandon Woodruff just because he's a very good pitcher. I think you could look to, especially at Freddie Peralta, got him at very low ownership yesterday. He rolled through this Cubbies lineup. So I probably won't go to the Cubs side. I think you could look to some Brewer side against Hendricks, maybe some lefties in particular with like Jackie Bradley, Yelich, Shaw, and Colton Wong at the top end. Looking at the DraftKings salary here. If we look at plate IQ for a second here, we can look at the Phillies, how they look today against Peterson. Peterson's been very bad against righties. His exit was over 5 last year. He gives up a good amount of walks as well. Against righties, he had a 150 ISO, only a 17% K rate, so that was down 10%. The fly ball rate was 32% higher than it was against lefties. And looking at his pitch types, it's about a 4 pitch mix: fastball, slider, change, and sinker. And we can look how some of these bats have done against that pitch. Segura's done very well against the sinker. Looking at the changeup, it's been Hoskins mashes the changeup. Realmuto hits that pitch really well. Segura once again, Gregorius, even though he's a lefty. And then the fastball is not very. I mean, it's like a below average, 92%. McCutchen hits out very well. Hoskins, Harper, especially Boehm. So I do like the Phillies, and then I love the Blue Jays today. Looking at the pitching options, you have a lot of guys at the top end that you could get to. I would probably go with Bieber is my favorite at 10,600 just in terms of raw points. The second guy would be Aaron Nola. He's only $9,400. He's super cheap against the Mets side. He's an ace. I don't know why he's discounted. Pitched well against the Braves opening day, and the matchup is not the easiest one against the Mets, but I do expect the Phillies to be able to put up some runs here, so I hopefully gets the win. So it's Bieber, Nola, then probably Trevor Bauer, and then Blake Snell for me. In the 8K range, I don't really like any of these two that much. You could look to Maeda if you wanted to, but at the 7K range is loaded. You have Jack Flaherty against the Marlins at only $7,800. You have Ryu at only $7,300 in Texas against a team that's very good against right-handed pitching, not so much against lefties with Gallo, with especially with how good Nate Lau has been, and then with David Dahl in there. Their three best hitters are lefties, so I'd like going to Ryu. They have about a 3.6 total today. And then if you wanted to go super cheap, you could look to like a Pablo Lopez at $6,800. Maybe, yeah, that's probably it. But for me, I think I would spend down a little bit at pitcher. I love Flaherty, and I really like Ryu. Just two guys that are cheap. Both guys can get you over 20 DraftKings points. Going to the catcher position, it's basically, just going to try to get to the stacks I get to, or if there's a cheap catcher that's batting, if there's a cheap catcher that we can get like 25 or below 20 or 2,500, I can look to them. But it would be Real Muto is probably one of my favorites to look to if you wanted to spend up at catcher. If not, you can look to the Blue Jay side if Jansen is in there at $3,800. He looks fine. Looking at this team, you have Narvaez at only $2,700. He would be a really good option if he's in the lineup again. On the Brewer side, first base, probably a position to spend up for. You have Abreu, who I'd like to get to, Vlad Guerrero at 5K, and then I like Rhys Hoskins at $4,900 against a lefty. Hoskins has been having a pretty good season so far. Hasn't hit a home run yet, but he's been making a lot of contact. He has 4 doubles so far. The home run should come for him. It's at home. It's a great ballpark to hit in. And I do like the Phillies here against Peterson. Think they'll be able to put up some runs, especially the righties on the team. So for me, it's Hoskins, it's Abreu to pay up for, it's Guerrero as well. And then to go with some cheap plays, it's Cronenworth, $3,800. I'll probably play him at second base. Usually first base, I want to get a guys with a little bit more power, the guys that potentially could hit you a home run or two. And I don't really think Cronenworth kind of is that guy. He's a guy that can get on base hits at a good average, but he's not going to hit you multiple home runs very often. And then maybe it's Tegezzo at only $3,100. Second base, it's like Simeon is one of my favorites. He's 5,200. It really is expensive, but the position is not very top. It's not a position where you want to get to a lot of top end guys besides like Simeon. I don't want to play Merrifield against Bieber. I don't want to play Araz lefty against Boyd. And then you could look to Lau at $4,800. I don't want to go to Edmund. I don't want to go to Hernandez at 45. I'd probably go down to like maybe a Gavin Lux or maybe a Kike Hernandez batting leadoff against a lefty, or Cronenworth, probably a spot that you can look to him at second base. Or you can look to the Philly stack with Gene Segura at $4,200. And that's mainly it here. See if there's any cheapies. On the Brewers, you have Colton Wong at $3,200 as a potential guy batting leadoff if the wind blowing out in Wrigley. Third base, it is like I probably won't get to Ramirez. He's $5,700. I like going a little bit deeper here. I like Moncada at $4,900. I love Kevin Biggio. Gibson can't get lefties out. Biggio hits the righties super well, especially for power. Off so far, he's been down. He had a home run 2 days ago, but that was only a couple hits so far for him on the season. I'm not worried about him. He's a young kid with a lot of power. And especially against Gibson, who doesn't strike lefties out and gives up a lot of contact and a lot of hard contact against lefties, I expect Biggio to hopefully be able to do some damage here. So Biggio is probably my favorite at the position. Then it would be probably Guerrero, then Moncada, and then probably Alec Boehm as a value play. It was only $3,100. He looks really nice against a lefty. Shortstop here, it's once again I just like to go to my stack options here. I'll probably look to Gregorius. I probably won't look to him against lefty here. I might get all the way up for actually there's not for Bichette at 53, even though he's a righty. Coming off 2 home runs last night, he's a guy that is super talented. I mean, this Blue Jays lineup is going to be deadly all season and for years to come. They got a ton of young guys in there and a guys with so much upside. So Bichette is my favorite spend up at shortstop. For value, it is, I mean, not a lot that looks that appealing here. We'll see if anybody on the Brewers is cheap. Probably don't like to get to any of those guys. So it's Bichette. And then I look at the White Sox. If Anderson is in, he's 56. He would be nice to get to. And then the Phillies, it's Gregorius. So probably Bichette is my favorite. Outfield, it is a spot where Luis Robert is $5,900. Only $100 cheaper than Betts. So I can't recommend him over Mookie Betts. It would be Betts my favorite, and then it would be Robert as a pay-up option. I don't want to get to Merrifield. I don't really want to get to Harper, lefty. I don't want to get to Marte at $5,500. I like JD. He's been on fire to start the season, batting almost 500 with a couple of home runs already. He hits lefties really, really well. So he is going to be a guy I would like to get to if you wanted to go with the one-off on the Red Sox side. And then you can look to Teoscar's $4,800. He gives you a lot of power right in the heart of the Blue Jays lineup. Even though he's a righty, I don't really care. He just gives you so much home run upside. He's a guy that can hit you multiple home runs on any given day, and it's a good spot against Gibson and that bullpen of the Rangers. And then the last guy is going to be Andrew McCutchen, just because he's so cheap. He's $3,200 batting leadoff. He's also a lot better against lefties for his career. He's gotten off to a slow start this season, but hopefully against lefty, batting leadoff might get you 5 at-bats today, and that can kind of be a recipe to get his season back on track after a rough 5 games to start. So that's it for the DK side. I'll quickly touch on FanDuel. FanDuel here at this MLB slate, you can go up at pitcher or you can go down. If you're going up, it's probably going to be for Aaron Nola for me. He's only $9,100. Love that price tag. He could go all the way up for Bieber, but I probably will not be doing that just because I like to get to some bats, and I think there are some great cheap pitchers here. Ryu is only 8,200, and then Jack Flaherty is 79. I love Flaherty, I love Ryu, and I love Nola. They're the three that I really want to get to. Flaherty is just really cheap, 79 against the Marlins. He's really good against righties. There's going to be like 7 righties in the lineup projected to be for the Marlins. Also gets to face off against a pitcher. Really love Flaherty at that price tag. It's just a little bit way too cheap. At catcher slash first base, same kind of stacks I'm looking at. The Phillies, I love Hoskins here. You definitely can get to Jose Abreu if you wanted to. $100 being the difference between Abreu and Hoskins. I will side with Jose Abreu, even though I love Hoskins. And then second base, here we have Merrifield at 4K. I won't be touching that price tag. I like Simeon at his price tag, but it's going to be Biggio. He's just really nicely priced at only $3,100 against a righty who who really struggles against lefty power. So it's going to be Biggio's my favorite option. Third base, look at guys like Guerrero here, Moncada. You could play Biggio at third base if you wanted to, or you can go to Alec Boehm. He's only $2,800. Shortstop, it's Simeon. Looks appealing. Bichette looks really nice at only $3,200. Go ahead and put him in. Could go down here, but I just like the guys in the 3K range here. I don't really want to go lefty-lefty with Didi. So I'd probably go guys above 3K at shortstop. And then in the outfield, it's a lot of guys to pick from here. I love Yelich, just with the wind blowing out against a pitcher who does go with some power to lefties. I think the Brewers' lefties look appealing, especially Yelich. Martinez hits lefties amazingly. He's only $3,600. He's going to be a great guy to get to. Yeah, Robert is cheaper on FanDuel by a lot, so he looks appealing. Hernandez looks nice at $3,400. And then you have a cheap McCutchen at $2,900, batting leadoff against a lefty. He's in play. But for me, if I was gonna go with a one-off here, and will be a one-off on the probably on the Red Sox side, it would be JD Martinez. Just hits lefties really well. He's only $3,600 as two. He's having a great start to the season. It shouldn't be this cheap. So hopefully he continues to hit well and hopefully hits one out. So that is it for the FanDuel picks and the DK picks. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck, and I'll see you all later.